So first question for you, Brad, Super Bowl winning quarterback. You stumbled upon my page after my trivia questions, but I'm curious, what got you started on TikTok? What made you start making these trick shot videos?
Yeah, my kid's gotten some TikToks going a little bit about a year ago, and then I just started fooling with it about probably 6 or 7 months ago.
Yeah,
It just started thumbing through it, and for me, I made some videos of my career and some things like that, and then the more I watched TikTok and I saw what some people were doing, I said, I'm gonna start making some football videos and some basketball videos. And so I started out. I did a thing called Doink, and I'm coaching at a high school, and I throw it a crossbar before games, and I'd yell Doink, and then all of a sudden you start getting some views and some hits and those kind of things. And I saw high school coaches and other kids actually doing them in the stadiums before games too. And so it kind of took off a little bit, and then made some basketball videos. And I'm sure we'll talk about my basketball career, but just some creative things that I thought were pretty cool that some people might try. And just really just having fun on TikTok, and hopefully let people get to know who I am a little bit and some things I can do. And just I try to keep everything as light as possible and fun, and hopefully a little creative too.
yeah, it's definitely fun to watch the trick shot videos. I can tell you that. I'm curious how many tries it takes on each, but we'll let that be a secret. You don't have to tell everybody. Um, but no, like I said, you stumbled upon mine going through watching those videos. That's really
I did.
fun.
Let me
I've
tell you
I've
something real
enjoyed.
quick now. Let me tell you something. I was stumbling through yours, and it was so fun. The question was, um, what two quarterbacks have ever thrown and caught their own touchdown pass? And when I stumbled
Yeah.
on yours, I said me
Yep.
and Marcus
Yep.
Mariota. So it's
And
pretty
the
funny
and the
that you might
funny
say
thing,
me, and then that's kind of how our relationship kind of built too.
yeah. The funny thing is, when you were playing in Minnesota and when you were playing in NFL Europe, um, you know, I was middle school age probably. My best friend's a Vikings fan, so I knew who you were growing up. I didn't know until I was ready to post that question that you actually were the first ever quarterback to do that. And I thought that was really cool. Went back and watched the videos, and you made a man miss too. So you were nice and nimble on that play. But speaking about the NFL and playing with the Vikings, you were drafted by them in 1992 in the ninth round. People may not know that the draft used to go that long, 7 rounds now. But what was going through your mind? What on draft day? What were you thinking? Were you going to get drafted?
Yeah,
Walk me through that.
it's a great question. There were actually 12 rounds at that time. I went to school at Florida State. I was an All-American, parade All-American coming out of high school. I played a little bit my junior year, got benched, and we'll talk about it later. But I was a basketball nut, and I was a little bit of a late bloomer in football. But my senior year, I really didn't get to play much. And my best friend was Casey Weldon. He actually went #1 in the country. That was the year we had the wide right deal, and he was a runner-up to the Heisman. He should have won the Heisman that year. Charles Woodson actually won it, but Casey really he had that kind of a year. So I really didn't have any film of me, and so I went to the combine. I felt like I was the top. Actually, I felt like I was the top quarterback coming out of the combine, to be honest with you. But I didn't have any film, and and so I went through the draft, and my dad was there. It used to be a 3-day draft,
Yeah.
and I knew the New York Giants, they were looking for a quarterback. They told me they were going to draft somebody about the 3rd or 4th round. And it wasn't me. It was Kent Graham out of Ohio State. And I'm like, dude, I'm out of luck now. My dad, we're sitting in my dorm room. He's laying on the floor. I'm sitting on the couch. And then I had a friend of mine who was actually with the Atlanta Falcons. He said, Brad, hey, if you don't get picked up in the draft, we'd like to pick you up as a free agent. And I was like, dude, if I don't get drafted, I'm going to go back to home. I'm going back home to North Carolina,
Sure.
Black Mountain. I'll be a school teacher. I didn't know how the draft worked at that time. I was like, don't
Right.
even take a shot at me. My name came across the ticker in the 9th round, 227th pick, and my dad he was going crazy. And I was like, what? He said, your name, I think it came across the ticker. And so we waited like another minute. It came across the ticker,
Yeah.
the 227th pick to the Minnesota Vikings. And then we celebrated. 2 minutes later, I get a call from Denny Green, the head coach of Minnesota Vikings. And the guy that drafted me was a guy named Jack Burns. Jack he was the new offensive coordinator there. He recruited me in high school. He's at the University of Louisville, and he
Oh,
just kept
wow.
up with me my whole career. So all you young kids, all you people, never burn bridges. You never know who's watching. He gave me a chance, and sometimes the hardest part in life, or to be a starter, is just getting that opportunity. And one thing my dad always told me, and we'll move on here, but he said it's better to be prepared and not have an opportunity than to have an opportunity and not be
Sure.
prepared. So I was ready for my moment to get drafted, and then it worked out, and I made the team, and then ended up having a 17-year career. So it was a great, great day when I got drafted.
Yeah, everybody always talks about Tom Brady at 199. Nobody knows, or nobody talks about Brad Johnson going in the ninth round, going on, winning a Super Bowl and everything like that. So it's really cool. Speaking of the draft and everything, there's a lot of names up top for the quarterbacks that are going to be drafted. A lot of quarterbacks that are going later too. But what's your advice to any quarterback that's coming entering the draft this upcoming week?
Well, you've already played your college career. You've already done the pro days, the combine at your school. You've done all the interviews. You've done Zoom meetings. You may be doing some more leading up to the draft, which is next Thursday. Right now, don't screw it up. Don't get in trouble. Don't be going out late at night. Get in trouble. Don't do anything wrong to ruin your reputation. I stay hidden. Work out at home. Just enjoy your family, because after this draft, it's going to get busy on you really, really quick. I'd just be doing my workouts, everything they got you there, but I would stay out of trouble these next few days and don't let that, because this happened to a lot of guys leading up to the draft. They think they've arrived. It's just beginning. So you've done the work, and just now kind of sit back and wait for the draft to happen. Then let your new journey begin.
Yeah. And with that, there's a lot of quarterbacks. Personally, I think there's going to be 6 quarterbacks taken in the first round. You got Lawrence, Fields, Lance, all up top. And I know I'm forgetting one right now. Wilson was 1, 2. Mac Jones probably going in the first. But, we're hearing those names every day in the media. Who's your sleeper quarterback coming out of the draft? Who do you think that might sneak in either late first or in the middle rounds that gets drafted and may not start right away?
Yeah, there's 3 quarterbacks that come to mind for me. One's Kyle Trask. He was actually up for the Heisman at one point this year until they lost to LSU, and then it kind of jumped on him a little bit at the very end of the season. But he's a kid that he can sneak up there. The other one is Lamont from Texas A&M. But you've heard of those guys. You've heard of those guys for the last 3 or 4 years. The guy that's the sleeper to me is the kid from Stanford, Davis Mills. He's only played like 12, 13 games. He's from Atlanta, Georgia, Great Atlantic Christian High School. His pro day was outstanding. I mean, outstanding. If you take all those guys we just talked about, and you actually match their throws, their dropbacks, their demeanor, his pro day might be better than all of them. And some people might be thinking I'm crazy out there, but it's legit. He's a kid that I don't know if he'll go in the second or third round. He may be a 6th-round pick. Who knows?
Sure.
But going to Stanford University, he's a smart kid, but the system they run is a pro-style system. He's smart. He can do all the dropbacks. He can make all the throws. I think he ran like a 4.6 40, legit. And so day one of minicamp, he can come in and learn it. So he's my sleeper of the draft. Maybe he's not playing right away, but in 3 or 4 years from now, he's going to be playing for somebody.
Yeah. And like you said, he went to Stanford, means he's a smart guy. As long as he doesn't have somebody else doing his homework. Right. I couldn't either. So, and then I want to go back. You said Kyle Trask played for Florida. They lost to LSU. Shameless plug, but when they lost to LSU, what quarterback led them to victory on that game?
I don't know, man. There's a lucky kid down there in Baton Rouge. So my son, Max Johnson, he's a lefty. I don't know how that happened either, but
yeah,
he got to play the last 2 games of the season. They were 23.5-point underdogs, and they won in the swamp in the foggy game and a 57-yard field goal at the end. So, but Kyle, I watched him in warm-ups. He's a smooth customer. He can deliver the ball. He's not, I wouldn't say he's the most athletic guy, but he's fast enough. But he's smart and knows where to go with the ball and throws a very, very catchable ball. So he's going to have a great NFL career for sure.
Right. That's exciting. And you said he's a lefty. I'm finding out. I was at T-ball all morning this morning, and my 4-year-old, my youngest son, he's a lefty too. and it's so hard for me to try to teach him how to bat left, how to throw left. So I think he's gonna be the one that gives me a run for my money with that kind of stuff. So
Let me give you a quick piece of advice on
yeah,
lefty. Don't teach them lefty. Teach them righty. The way you do it
uh-huh.
best, the way you do it more natural. Lefties are weird. They can learn. They learn how to learn. And so
Yeah,
just teach them the way you've always teach it, and they can flip it. When you show them something awkward like your lefty, it looks weird to them. So just do it the way you do it, and they can
sure.
flip it in their own minds. So
Okay.
that'd be
I'll
the way to
keep
do it.
that in mind when we're at baseball and everything too. Or, he's been playing flag football for a few years now too. So
Yeah.
try to teach him how to throw righty as well. But kind of staying on the topic of the boys here. So Max is obviously the quarterback at LSU. Recently had Jake just commit to LSU as well. He's a tight end. Congratulations to you on having both of those boys. Go to a top collegiate football program too. So that's awesome. But as they're so young, what's your advice to just those two, as they can continue their career through sports?
Yeah, both my boys have had outstanding high school careers. Jake he'll be going early in January next year. And I tell you, number one, enjoy what you do. Enjoy what you do. Work as hard as you can. Don't have any regrets. But when you go to college, when it's all set, at some point it's going to be over. Your career is going to be over. Make sure you get a degree. Make sure you got a piece of paper in your hand
Yep.
when it's over. Make memories. Make moments. Work as hard as you can. Be a great teammate. If you make it to the pros, you make it to the pros. If you make it to college, you make it to college. But don't have any regrets doing it. And leave with some substance. Leave with friendships. Leave with memories. Make an impact, and don't lose your character along the way. And have people respect you. So I'm excited to watch both my boys at LSU. But I coach a bunch of different kids. I coach in high school ball, and just
Yeah,
man, be the best version of you, and then it'll probably be good enough.
absolutely. So did both your boys play high school ball for you then?
Yeah, I was fortunate enough. I coached my kids when they came out of the womb all the way through high school ball. I coached all their little league baseball, basketball, football teams, and I'd laminate the football scripts, and we had the armbands, and
Yep,
we were calling plays crazy. At fifth grade level, we write West 72 Shake White Drive. I'm making them learn how to call
sure.
plays in the huddle, how to speak in segments, how to make shifts and motions, how to control your huddle, and so my kids love it, and it's pretty cool to have two boys that can throw and catch with each other. They can push each other,
Yep.
and they're best friends, but they're also like Tom and Jerry, like the cartoon characters. They're just beating each other
Yeah.
up in the house. So, I mean,
Right.
it's wild. They've eaten me out of the house, out of the grocery store, and so it's an expensive grocery bill, but it's
Of
fun,
course.
and kind of just watching my kids. But I've coached them, all the way through high school ball. And now I'm gonna be a dad, sitting in the stands eating popcorn, watching them
Awesome.
from afar.
So how old, or what's the age difference on those two? How many months between them?
They're 2 years difference. Max
Two
he just
years.
turned 20, and then Jake he just turned 18. So
Okay, awesome.
uh,
I'm right there in the same boat with you. So I got a 6 and a 4-year-old, and then obviously, like we've talked, brand new baby girl at home. So I've got to learn how to adjust to that myself. But I'm right there with you. They're best of friends, and then they hate each other the next minute.
yeah, yeah.
So I know how it feels. And so, are you still coaching high school ball? Or are you walking away from that to kind of watch the boys at LSU? What's up with that?
Yeah, right now we've been keeping the road hot. So Friday, I coach high school ball at a place called Coney County High School in Athens, Georgia. Went to state finals last 2 years in a row. We lost in the finals. These are heartbreakers, but that's part of it too. And so Jake, he'll be a senior. So usually when we play on Friday nights, I help get the cones and pylons and water and equipment all kind of settled up. Then we're on the road. We make that drive from Athens, Georgia to Baton Rouge. It's 596 miles, and then get there for Saturday games, and then watch that game, then get back Sunday for the high school meeting. So we keep it hot on the weekends. Then once Jake graduates, I'm not sure if I'll keep coaching or not.
Sure.
In some capacity, I want to. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe it's a Monday through Wednesday kind of thing, and then spend more weekend time with our boys at Baton Rouge. So that's kind of the plan. But I coach a lot of little kids on the side, just one-on-one kind of thing. I don't charge money. I just love helping kids. I love seeing
Yep.
kids be able to throw a football and kind of see their greatness. Maybe they're not college players or pro players, but maybe they can be their starter on the middle school team or high
Sure.
school team, or just be able to throw a ball or understand the game better. So that's my passion, to kind of give back to kids.
Yeah, and maybe if LSU's looking for a quarterback coach, they can hire Brad Johnson, bring him in. That way you can be on the sideline too. So that would be pretty cool. So Jake has 1 year left in high school. Then is what you're saying, right?
Yeah. Jake will graduate this
Okay.
fall, early enrollee, and then he'll be there. He'll be at LSU in January.
Okay, awesome. Well, good luck to both of them. Down in the fall and their upcoming seasons and everything. And I think it'll be really excited in the following year to watch them together at LSU. That'll be really cool. But let's get back. We were talking at the very beginning of you being the first ever player in the NFL to catch your own throw for a touchdown. Walk me through that. So, what was going through your mind? You threw the ball, it got hit down at the line, and you caught it. I want to say it was 7 or 8 yards for a touchdown.
Yeah, I was playing for the Minnesota Vikings. We're actually on the 3-yard line. We were playing the Carolina Panthers, and the play was called dot left, long spear, rip Dallas. So basically, it's just the tight end's going to run a little stick route. There's a guy in the flat, take 3-step drop. You hit the guy for like a little 6-yard catch in the end zone, and the ball got batted up. It came back to me. It was 3rd down. So usually if you're in the field, you would bat the ball down.
Yep.
Or if you're on the 25-yard line, you would actually knock it down too, because then you might lose yards. On
Right.
the 3-yard line, I knew if I caught the ball, we'd still be in field goal range. I caught it. It came back to me. Kind of made a couple head fakes, juked a couple guys out. I dove into the end zone. And when I got to the sidelines, we didn't know what it was. I mean, it was just, this never happened before.
Sure.
You've thrown and caught you on pass if somebody batted it, but it's never been, you can't double pass the ball.
Right.
You have to, once it's been thrown forward, you only get one. So I scored the ball, got to the sidelines, and said, what was that? And so after the game was over, somebody, they said, listen, it was a touchdown. It was a touchdown catch. It was a touchdown pass.
Right.
And it's never been happened before. And so when it happened, it was 12 points in fantasy football. All those people, they love me.
Yeah.
And then they won an ESPY award for play of the year. And it's
That's
really
awesome.
pretty cool to kind of have that, kind of the first one to ever do it. And then Marcus Mariota did it with the Tennessee Titans against I think the Chiefs, maybe.
It was in the Chiefs in the playoffs. Yep.
Chiefs.
He I don't know who he was throwing to, but he threw it. It got tipped. He caught it, and he had a pretty sweet dive into the end zone at the end. But if anybody wants to see Brad Johnson's play, it's out there on YouTube. It's also on his page. You got to scroll down a little bit. Find that video, go take a look at it. Like you said, he makes a man miss. He jukes the guy out of his shoes. So, it may not be as nimble as you used to now, but Brad Johnson used to be pretty nimble back in the day. So would advise everybody to go and definitely check that out if you can. So, you went on in your career, bounced around from Minnesota to the Europe League, Tampa, spent some time in Washington and Dallas. Most notably, you're probably known for winning that Super Bowl with Tampa Bay. You guys crushed the Raiders. Yeah. John Gruden just got traded from the Raiders to the Bucks, and really ironic that you guys ended up playing the Raiders in the Super Bowl, and you guys beat them handedly. Aside from that moment, what's your proudest NFL moment or football moment at that?
Yeah, I've had every experience. I've had every high, every low. I've done it all. The good, the tough, and all that. I tell you a couple things. One, the 17 year of the grind. The grind is real, and I embraced it. That's really what I enjoyed. That's what I miss. Getting up early, the off-season workouts, what it felt to throw a touchdown pass, what it felt to lose a game, the hurt, all of that. You have to embrace it. And I was fortunate enough to have a long career, play with a lot of great players and coaches. But one of the coolest things for me was actually my first touchdown pass. I didn't play much in college. My first 3 years, I barely got any snap in practice, not alone a game. And then my dad, one year, he had a heart attack, and We thought he was going to pass away. It was tough. And so that year in preseason, I had a rough preseason. Last preseason game, had a terrible game. I thought they were going to cut me. They didn't, thank goodness for Denny Green. He could diamond in the rough kind of thing. And then that first game, Warren Moon got hurt. I came in the game. You could hear a pin drop, and I started warming up like people didn't want me to play, you know. And then I got in there hot. Came in, threw a game-winning fourth quarter touchdown pass to Chris Carter. A play was called change right, base right, 086. And kind of scrambled up in the pocket, hit him on a deep post. And then after the game, it was my very first touchdown pass. I was able to take that ball as I was leaving the tunnel, gave it to my dad. So it's pretty awesome moment for him to be there and just to share my first, you know, touchdown pass like that.
Right. And what a cool moment for you too, to say that your first touchdown pass was to Chris Carter of all people. So that's awesome of itself. You know, after that, like we said, you played with the Dallas Cowboys, ended up retiring after the 2008 season, correct?
Right.
Yeah, okay, so about 12 years ago. Aside from TikTok, what's keeping you busy? You know, I know you said you're a coach in high school and everything like that, but what else are you into nowadays?
Yeah, I kind of just stay busy I have a golf tournament up in Asheville, North Carolina called the Evelyn Foundation. I've been involved with that for 20 some odd years now, with the golf tournament that I do for charity there. And here I do spend a lot of my time at the school coaching high school ball. I've done that for the last 3 or 4 years and coached all these teams, all these years, youth and middle school teams, and can't tell you how many of those kids I've done. And then I have some kids on the side that I just help coach, you know, as little quarterbacks coming on, and then really just kind of hang out with my friends, play a lot of golf, just kind of piddle along the way. But I stay busy every day, stay active, work out every day, and so I've been fortunate.
Yeah, I have seen some of the workout videos you've posted on TikTok as well. No, thank you. I'll stay away from that. You know, so kind of moving on here, you know, you had, like you said, a 16-year career in the NFL,
17,
right?
17 years.
17, excuse me. 17 years in the NFL, and you've been married to your wife for how long?
21 years.
21 years, married to Nikki. You guys have your boys together, and they're both committed to LSU. So again, congratulations on that. And I know I'm interviewing Brad Johnson, but I'm curious, what's kept her busy too? You know, obviously you were always on the road, on the grind, everything. You've got to be focused. So aside from watching you play football and the boys play football, what's Nikki into?
Yeah, my wife Nikki, she played volleyball at South Florida, and then she went to Nova to get a physical therapy degree. And then when we first got married in 1999, we're living up in Minnesota. She had a heart. She really couldn't practice what she went to school for, to be a physical therapist. Sure. And she did that for a couple of years, but it's just too hard from where we were traveling from. So she took care of me all these years. And the two things she really got involved in, she got in photography business, and from doing portraits to Christmas cards, you name it. And then the thing that she does now, she paints furniture and people's bedroom sets and whatever it is. People, I'm getting furniture out of big trucks and stuff like that,
right,
in the garage, and then she paints it and does that kind of thing. So she stays busy, and obviously we're chasing our 2 kids. We got 2 dogs.
Sure.
So we're kind of busy around the house.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you need to make sure you keep lifting that heavy furniture for her, because she, you know, traveled around with you for 17 years. So it's time to give back to her and let her, you know, find her happiness and everything too. So just kind of getting into some random questions here. So we'll do rapid fire random questions. First one, you know, you've completed touchdown passes to numerous wide receivers, even one quarterback in yourself. But who was your favorite touchdown pass to aside from yourself?
Played with some great players. Jake Reed, through Randy Moss's first touchdown pass, through Chris Carter's and Tim Brown's 100th touchdown pass.
Yep.
Through Warren Sapp, his first touchdown pass. Michael Clayton, his first touchdown pass. Through my first touchdown pass.
Yeah.
So those are some great players. Had some great ones down in Tampa with Keyshawn Johnson and Joe Jurevicius, yep, and Keenan McCardell and Chris Walsh, my guy in Minnesota. But one of the coolest plays I had was actually up in the NFC Championship game. and basically the Philadelphia, they had our number for. They were our nemesis when I was in Tampa, and I played them a bunch when I was in Washington also. But just a tough team. They some guys went on to make Hall of Fame, and an NFC Championship game that's cold. And we had a little play called triple left 83 double smash X option. So basically, we had two guys running two corners, two flats, and then Joe Giovicius, he ran a little 5-yard little stick route. And people don't really, they remember Joe Giovicius doing this thing. And he had a son, Michael, that passed away. We didn't even know he was going to play in that game. And there's the momentum play for Tampa Bay. Everybody remembers Rondé Barber intercepting the ball at the very end of the game. But really, Joe Giovicius, little 6-yard route, he was 73 yards. I almost checked out of the play. I was almost checking that. I had 3 audibles. I was either going triple left. I was getting a check to 359 sticky, 98 bunch crunch, or 59 Lexus. But I stayed with the play. We made a bang-R call, protected it up. He got one-on-one. It was an awesome play. It changed the course of time for Tampa Bay as far as winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, absolutely. Got you guys to the Super Bowl and everything. That's awesome. Yeah. You're right. You've thrown a lot of different touchdown passes, and I have it on my sheet here of questions. You stole my thunder, Brad. So appreciate that. Do you know who you threw most touchdown passes to? Which wide receiver? I know we didn't prepare for that one, but
I know. I would say Chris Carter.
Chris Carter.
I'm guessing.
We'll fact check. I'm going to look at that and see if I can't research that and let you know. We'll go from there.
Hey, let me tell you real quick. One of the coolest things I got to be a part of too. Now, I played in the last game of 3 different stadiums, and then opened up one of the stadiums. So 3 of those stadiums were the Pittsburgh Steelers. Played the last game in that stadium. Played the last game in Dallas Cowboy Stadium, the old stadium. And then we beat the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC Championship game, closed down the Vet. All the Philly fans on here are probably hating that one. And then we
terrible way for them to lose. Yeah.
Then we opened up the Vet. We opened up Lincoln Field the next year. So we went back to back.
Sure.
We won both games. So it's kind of a cool little. I don't know too many people that have closed down 3 stadiums like that.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I would imagine, one of my trivia questions was which quarterbacks have beaten all 32 teams. I'm curious which player or quarterback has played at the most stadiums. I don't think you were playing when you played when Houston came around and everything too, right? Were you still in the league when they?
Yeah, I'm not that old, but yeah, some of those stadiums are kind of unique, like Seattle. I got to play in both the Seattle stadiums because I play in Washington, and then New England. They've had 2 different stadiums, and Tampa had 2 different stadiums. So, man, it might be Brady because he did all those stadiums. Who played in the most because he got to play in double the cities.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure it would be really hard for me to research that, but I'm just curious on that. So, keeping up with the rapid fire questions, you spent a long time in the NFL. You took a lot of hard hits, but who hit the hardest? Was there a hit that you remember the most and said maybe like, oh, I don't want to get hit by him again?
Yeah, I had 4 hard hits. Hard.
Okay.
One was from Warren Sapp. He got me when I was in Washington. He got me good.
Yeah.
Another one was Derek Brooks. We were playing him. I was in Minnesota. They were bringing a 4-week blitz, and I made the check. And I made the check, Robert. So we're going to block 4 week. And my right guard, Scott Dill, I'm calling you out, man. He didn't hear the call, or he didn't do the right thing. And Derek Brooks stuck me underneath my throat and couldn't speak for 3 or 4 weeks and couldn't do a snap count. We had to do a silent count. And then the two others that were piercing was LeVar Arrington when I was in Tampa. Played him in Washington. We were running a little naked, a waggle kind of fake, and I should have audible the play. I thought I could fake him out, and he took me out. And then the last one was Peter Boulware for Baltimore Ravens.
Sure.
Right tackle didn't make his block, and all he could say was look out. And he pierced me. So Peter Boulware, LeVar Arrington, Warren Sapp, Derek Brooks. Those are the 4 that I remember daily.
It's funny. A lot of them were your teammates at one point too. So no love lost, I'm sure. So you had a lot of different coaches in the NFL as well. Was there one that was just the hardest to please, that no matter what you did, they just weren't happy?
I had some great coaches, man. It's hard to say that. You know what I mean? I think everybody gets caught up into the motions of John Gruden. You know what I mean? He's yelling and
Yeah.
screaming. They all are, you know. And but I had some great coaches. I had Bobby Bowden at Florida State, Mark Richt at Florida State, and Denny Green and Brian Billick at Minnesota, and Norv Turner at Washington, and Tony Dungy and John Gruden in Tampa, and
Yeah.
Mike Tice in Minnesota, and Jason Garrett and Wade Phillips up in Dallas. So I mean, man, I was
Yeah.
blessed. You know what I mean? But they, if you ain't winning, you ain't producing. They all
Right.
got a little hot streak among them.
Yeah.
Just tell you that.
So all equal across the board then, right?
It is. It's pretty
Okay.
fun.
Awesome. I know I asked you, who the favorite person you threw a touchdown pass was to, anything. Is there any favorite play that sticks out? One play that you just like to run all the time, you knew it would always work, or anything like that?
Yeah. My favorite play. I mean, the one everybody knows with Gruden is, U shift green left west, F short power Q banana Z over, heads up for 358 smoke. That's just a little corner route. People run that play now, but one of my favorite plays is called weak right west, 72 shake wide drive. So basically, it's one receiver. There's like two tight ends, and there's two fullbacks, like a tailback and fullback. And basically, it's a corner route by the single receiver. They're running a drive route by the two receivers over here. Then another guy's in the flat, and you get your back on the check down. You get 5 out. And so I was fortunate enough to throw that to Joe Vicious. I love throwing a
Right.
jug. You just read his body language. Throw it against the 49ers in the first playoff game in 2003, and could throw it blindfolded, throwing the corner routes. I mean, I love throwing corners. I love throwing digs and seams and bang eights, but I love throwing that corner route. And so that was my favorite play to throw to Joe Vicious. Weak right west, 72 shake wide drive. Just lay that corner route out there about 20, 22 yards.
Awesome. We got somebody saying that it sounds like you're speaking a foreign language with the play that you're calling there. He said, "Sounds like Patrick Mahomes in the Pro Bowl," and I had no clue what he said. So getting back to the interesting stats here. So your first touchdown pass was to Chris Carter. You also threw Chris Carter his 100th touchdown reception, and also Tim Brown. And like you said, Randy Moss, you threw him his first touchdown pass. Same thing for Warren Sapp. You threw yourself your first touchdown pass. Is there any other interesting stats that we don't know about Brad Johnson?
Yeah, man. There's this guy in Atlanta, played for the Falcons, number 7, named Michael Vick. He could run that thing, man. Maybe the all-time greatest quarterback with yards and stuff if Lamar Jackson didn't break it. But I rushed Michael Vick one game. I had 1 yard rushing on the QB sneak, and he had 0. So I can claim to fame I outrushed Michael Vick 1 yard to 0. So
the fact that
he was
Michael Vick was held,
unbelievable player. But that's the one little fact that no one would even know.
I can't even believe that he finished a game with 0 rushing yards. Who were you playing for when that happened? What game was that?
I was playing for Tampa Bay. I think it was in the 2002 year. And our defense was tremendous. They
Great
just
defense.
Swarmed they were all over the joint, and they played awesome.
So what a lot of people won't know about you either, unless they go and watch your TikTok, which if you guys haven't already, go to Brad's page, check out his trick shots, excuse me. But Brad Johnson played high school basketball and college basketball. So you were a dual sport athlete at Florida State. What made you do that? It's already hard enough playing one sport and being a college athlete, but for you to do 2, walk me through that.
Yeah, I was a parade All-American coming out of high school, up at Owen High School, Black Mountain, North Carolina. All-state basketball player, was the player of the year in North Carolina in basketball. Basketball was my passion. And I want to play for a guy named Bobby Crimmins at Georgia Tech. And I was going to Georgia Tech to play basketball the whole way. And I got into his office, and Bobby, he's really probably the only one that's truthfully honest with me, Coach Crimmins. And he said, "How good are you?" I said, "Well, I'm kind of a late bloomer in football, but I love basketball. He said,
Yeah.
where do you think your career is going to go? I said, I got more potential in football. He said, well, Brad, I got a guy here coming to Georgia Tech next year. He's an All-American also. His name's Dennis Scott, and he's going to start. I only play 5 guys, and you can back him up.
Right.
And so I said, I'm going to go to Florida State. And so I made
Sure.
my decision to go to Florida State. I went there on a football scholarship. And then I said, I'm going to walk on to the basketball team. So I walked on to the basketball team at Florida State. Pat Kennedy was the head coach. And I ended up starting, I think, 13 games at Florida State. All-time second free throw shooter in Florida State history. And we went to the NCAAs twice. But at that point, after 2 years of basketball, I'm like, what am I doing here? I came here to hopefully be an NFL quarterback. I'm not going to make the NBA in basketball. So that's why I was fortunate enough to play 2 years of basketball, play my years, and then I actually played with Charlie Ward. We played on the City League team together. We had a pretty good team. And he ended up winning the Heisman at Florida State and then had an 11-year NBA career. So it's pretty cool. Then we had another guy, Chris Winkie, who came there as a football player, won the Heisman, but he also played baseball too. So our quarterback room was pretty strong with dual threat kind of quarterbacks.
That's awesome. Yeah. And just for everybody watching too, we will open it up, some questions, take maybe 1 or 2. I know we got to get you going here, Brad. But if you guys have any questions you want to ask Brad, make sure you put it down in the chat. And then Brad, I don't think I can see the comments coming through on your side. So if you see any questions that come through that you want to answer, keep that in the back of the head too. But my last question for you, and something I want to know, knowing that, and correct me if I'm wrong, you were the North Carolina Basketball Player of the Year.
Right. Yeah,
right?
I love basketball. The guy that played in my high school was a guy named Brad Doherty, who ended up being All-American, went to North Carolina as an All-American, played in the NBA for quite a while. So he was kind of my hero coming from the same high school, dunked on my head a few times, and had a great Roy Williams. He actually coached my high school when I was like 2nd and 3rd grade. Then my high school coach, Bill Burrows, he was a tough coach, man, and he brought the greatness out of all of us. Scored 2,392 points in high school. Got beat in the semifinals of the state championship. So that one still stings too. But basketball was my passion.
Okay, so that was going to be my next question. What do you love more, basketball or football? But I think you just answered that one. So are you going with basketball? Is that the final answer?
Yeah, I'm going basketball.
Basketball, final answer. Okay, awesome. Well, I personally don't have any other questions for you. I greatly appreciate.
I'm trying to read his name real quick. He's talking about the Zubaz. And so from Karen from Zubaz, just want to say hello. I wear the Zubaz all the time up in Minnesota. And so I think we're saying hello to her. So every now and then you might see me wearing some Zubaz, those old funky colors around sometimes. So pretty cool time.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't have any other questions. I appreciate you even taking time out of your day to entertain me, to allow me to interview you. For anybody that's watching, make sure you go to Brad's TikTok, check out his videos. I'm sure you've got some more trick shot videos coming. And I know how long some of them take you, but I'm not going to expose you here, Brad.
It takes some work. Let me just tell you that.
Yeah. So, I do have a question from one person here, and we'll get to that. But what videos can we look forward to for you posting on TikTok?
Yeah, it's interesting. I got a football one I'm trying right now. It's pretty tough. I told you about throwing the football and do these thing called doinks. So I start from the 20-yard line just right before games, and then I got to the 40-yard line down at LSU. I was in the practice facility, and that's really a 50-yard throw plus the height of the bars. 57-yard throw. I'm 52, so it's a lot going on there. But to hit 5 doinks in a row from the 20-yard line.
Okay.
That's going to be a special one. I did 3. It was called Duck Duck Goose on there.
Yeah.
And I had some fun with that one. But 5 in a row, it's a little bit of work. I did do 4, and 5 is going to be a quest. So that'll be the next big one as far as football goes out. Some basketball ones, I got some pretty cool things coming up. But the ones I did were pretty unique already. And everything I do is always the sequence kind of thing. It's not just one trick shot. It's nothing spliced. It's got to be in a row. And that's what makes them unique. And
and
look for the
we can
5
definitely see that. Yeah, awesome. So the question here from Tony Emmerich, he says, "Why pursue football if basketball is the passion? What made you do that?"
Yeah, I mean, basketball is that's what I worked at growing up. And so I told you I was a late bloomer earlier.
Hmm.
I knew I had more potential in football, but I didn't understand coverages. I didn't understand the 3 and 5 step, 7 step. I didn't understand. I didn't really have a great love for football. My success in high school and middle school, they were all in basketball. And I'd get up before school and I'd shoot late at night and I did all that kind of stuff. And then, but I had more potential in football. And then I met this guy named Alex Aranos my junior year of college. And he asked me this question. He says, "Why do you play the game?" This is serious stuff for me, but he said, "Why do you play the game?" And I couldn't give him the answer. And so as my career went on, I started to love to play the game of football. I got an
Yeah,
understanding of all the coverages in the front and being able to drop back and be able to make these plays and to be able to lead teams. And so the reason why I played, it came down to everything's for 2 seconds. To be able to call a play in the huddle, green right slot, 96W, kill, 93 blast. To be able to call axe double right spear, later 735H pump, double cadence on 2. To take the snap count, blue and yank, and to draw them off sides. It's real quick. And to drop back and to give a play fake and look the linebacker off and to throw one of my favorite routes, the dig. I love throwing the dig, and I love giving the high five, and I love scoring the touchdown, and I love hugging everybody after we score or we win the game. And those are
yeah,
all 2-second moments. And so my passion for football, it is very, very strong. But that's who I became, was a football guy. But growing up,
sure.
it was basketball, because basketball is something that you can do by yourself. Football, you had to have somebody to throw with, and then I learned how to watch film, how to prepare, and that's what I grew into making my 17-year career. So I have
Yeah.
a passion for both, but I kind of enjoy basketball along the
Well,
way.
luckily for you, I'm sure it wasn't easy to walk away from the game either. But now you're gonna sit on the sidelines and
Yeah.
see that through your boys too. So that's awesome. If we have time, I've got another question here for you from somebody in the live here. Um, so they said, "Have you always played quarterback, or have you played another position before?"
Yeah, when I was in youth league, I was number 68. Played right
Okay.
tackle, and then
Yeah.
I wasn't a very good blocker. Then I got to move to tailback, and I wasn't a good runner. Then about the fourth grade, I became the quarterback. I could always throw. I could throw a baseball, throw rocks, you know, throw a football, and just kind of that's where it happened. But I was making the NFL. If it wasn't for quarterback, that was about the only position I could play.
Yeah. How do you think it would be different for you if you were in the NFL now, based off of when you played? Now that there's different rules protecting the quarterbacks, would you have played longer? Would you think you'd be in a better physical shape as well? What do you
Yeah.
think about that?
Now, as far as shape goes, I was peaked out. I did everything I could there, running and lifting and all that kind
Yeah,
of stuff. So that was an easy thing. The 17-year career, I don't know if you get much longer than that. The game has changed. The game
yep,
changed, and it's evolving every day, yearly, monthly. That's what's happening. So back when we used to play, it used to be just a run call. And then they got into a run pass. Could you kill it? And they gave you run pass, and then could you audible out of it? And then they give you just you go and throw to one side of the field. They made it full field reads, and then they get into reading these boxes, and you could audible at any moment. And then they got in this thing called RPOs, and the game is wild right now. So the game's changed. The rules have changed for
they
receivers,
have.
changed for quarterbacks, for linemen, but it's for the good for everyone to try to keep guys healthy. And so, but it's fun to watch these guys. These guys are better and better now. Growing up, we didn't have 7-on-7. We didn't have all these leagues in the spring and all
Right.
this film. And now everything's accessible to you. So kids are better now. Players are better now. I know where Max is and all the LSU guys. I'm just watching all these college players now. They're probably where I was in my 5th year of the NFL. That's how progressed all these teams are in college, not alone what's happening in the pro game.
Awesome. Well, Brad, like I said again, I appreciate you taking time out of your day today. If you guys aren't already following Brad on TikTok, make sure that you do go to his page, give him a follow as well. And then you can go ahead and give yourself a shameless plug. You're on Twitter or Instagram now?
I don't have Instagram.
Is
I
it
need to
Twitter?
find one. I need somebody to do that for. I just have Twitter. I just
Twitter.
kind of keep it light. I keep it fun. I'll put the trick shots on there, kind of thing too. So
Yeah.
that was just Brad Johnson, the Bull. Bull is my nickname, and I just have fun with these TikToks. It was great to meet you on here, Kyle, and enjoy all your trivia questions and sometimes kind of answer them too. So have fun with that
Yep.
too.
Awesome. Well, Brad, like I said, thanks for taking time out, and I'll be in touch with you soon.
All right, thanks, brother. Appreciate it, Kyle.
Thanks. Have a good one.
Appreciate you guys.